today's live, day 14 of 30. Oh my God. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a problem I see a lot of people enduring when they apply for jobs. And this goes for anyone, but especially if you're changing or if you're looking for jobs in a new country or in a new field, um, a new area, right? And that is using job titles as your go-to for finding your next job. And I'm not saying it's necessarily that using titles is a bad idea, but it can give problems because the thing is, when you're looking at job titles, it is something that is specific, sometimes to the industry, sometimes to the specific company. To give an example, when I started my job at Job Index back in the day, I was going to say it's like, I don't know, 8 years ago. So it's not that far, but it's still a bit. My title was supervisor. And what does that tell you? It doesn't tell you anything, basically. And that's why if I go to Job Index or to LinkedIn and search for the job title of supervisor, there's for sure going to come up jobs, but it's like, are these jobs relevant for me? That's really hard to know, right? And even within Job Index, I was in the match team, which is probably also like we were matching CVs and positions, right? So I was a supervisor on that team. Our text editor team or our copywriting team had a supervisor, or I don't even remember, but a lot of the teams had supervisors, right? And of course, there's some part of these jobs that had part of the same. So we were supervising, but the jobs we were supervising, the people we were supervising were by any means not doing the same thing. So the tasks we were supervising were not the same. That means that when I then need to go out and apply for another job that's similar to the one I had, it's super stupid, just to be blunt, to start applying for jobs with name supervisor. Or at least it's not a super effective strategy. You can do it. It's the same if you go and search for jobs as a project manager. It's like, it is such a broad title that yes, for sure, there's going to be some jobs as a project manager that's going to fit your profile, your industry, all of that. But you're going to have so many things that are not relevant to you. You're going to have so many jobs up for you that are not relevant because the title is simply too broad. Hi, Musi. Hope that's pronounced correctly. So instead, or maybe in addition to applying or searching for supervisor or project manager or some of these more generic titles, you can add, and depending on the search engine, you can add them with pluses or ands. You can kind of Google your way into, I have a video on how to do it with Job Index, so you can kind of look at that. But otherwise, you can also Google your way into how to optimize search in search engines, which both Job Index and LinkedIn are search engines, right? The point being that you can add things, right? So when I say, if you want to apply for, let's say you wanted to apply for and find my old job, you could search supervisor and then plus match. That would mean that you will be closer to finding that specific position. What I mean by that is that you want to, like the title of this video is about, search for skills and search for tasks that you want to work with, because they'll be in the job description as well, right? So when you do that, instead of focusing on titles, it's going to be much more likely that you will find jobs that actually match you. Thank you. So when I worked at the job center, we had this session. We had a session where part of that for me was that all of the participants who came, I had found based on their CV, I had found 2 jobs for everyone beforehand, before they came, right? And one of them, I think that was actually a project manager position, something like that. I'd found this job for her, and she read through it, and she was like, "Hey, I." I'm sorry. Yes, I'm in Denmark. Yes, there is definitely a Danish accent here. I am Danish. But she was like looking at this, let's say it was a project manager position, and I don't remember what the specific position was. But what she said to me was like, "Hey, you know what? I thank you for finding this position for me, because when I read it, when I look at it, and I read what they're looking for, this position is perfect for me. But I would have scrolled past it if I had just seen the job title, because this is not what I would usually think of myself as. I would think that a job title like this would be um, too high for me, or I would not be qualified for a position like that. So again, when looking for, instead of looking for the job titles, looking for the tasks and the skills you want to work with and that you have, can actually open up some opportunities that you didn't think about. So one thing is that it's going to be, for the very broad job titles, it's going to be easier and help you kind of like narrow it down. But also sometimes other job titles that you hadn't even thought about is going to pop up for you, and it's going to be opening your eyes to other options that you hadn't thought about, because all of a sudden, like, oh, I can actually apply for a job with that job title. That's interesting. And again, different industries called things different things. Even different companies, you can have a job in, again, if we go back to the job I had with Jobindex, that where my title was supervisor, in another company that might be, I don't even know what it would be, but it might be called something else, right? So the point being that yes, we are looking at, we want to look more at what it is you can do, what's your skills, um what's your area of expertise, and actually looking for those kind of jobs instead of just looking for the titles. Yes, I am from Denmark. So what are you talking about? Just asking. Yeah, of course, I'm talking about when you apply for jobs, that you should, instead of just applying for job titles and looking for specific job titles, you should think more in lines of looking at the tasks, specific tasks, and the specific skills you have and would like to work with, because that makes more sense. You'll be able to find much better matches. Um, Only few watching answer our questions. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I am from Denmark. So I hope this makes sense. So that's basically what I have to say about the topic. So if you do have any questions, feel free to let me know in the chat now. I'll stay for a few more minutes. And also, if you're watching the replay, then feel free to ask your questions in the comments, and I will jump in and answer them whenever I have an answer for you and have the opportunity. If you are looking for a job in Denmark at an academic level, so if you have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, PhD above, then I can definitely try and help you out. You're very welcome to go into my profile and book a discovery call with me, which is like 20-30 minutes, usually about 30 minutes, where we chat about a little bit about you, who are you, what's your background, where you're from, all these things. And then we figure out if I'm the one to help you. And if it makes sense, there's of course like, can I actually help you, teach you how to apply for jobs in Denmark? Does the cost match you in terms of where you're at and what you're willing to invest in your own job search? So there's a lot of different things to chat about, but feel free to jump into my calendar and book a discovery call with me. I do not guide on visa, because I don't know about visas. I guide specifically on job search in Denmark. If you're 12, you're probably not my client, my ideal client. What did I do when I was 12? Let me see. I had a job delivering newspapers, I think, when I was 12. I think that was actually my first job. I can recommend that. Like, it's a good way to, if they're, well, I guess they're still a thing, but it's a good way to get some routine and a good start learning about the job market. And qualified computer engineering. That's cool. That's very cool. There's a lot of need for IT profiles. That's what you did 5 minutes ago. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, so an IT profile, healthcare profiles are something that is needed in Denmark, in Europe, I think in general. I only guide about Denmark because that's what I know. That's where I am. That's where I know the job market. So I hope that makes a sense. But in my profile, if you're up for it, you can go into my profile here on YouTube, or go into my channel here on YouTube, and there's a link there where you can book a discovery call with me if you want to have a chat. Just feel free to answer the questions there to see, because that's also a way for me to see if it makes sense. So I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time, so that we can see if we're a match. And because again, you don't want to waste your time if I'm not the right person to help you. That wouldn't make sense for any of us. Thank you so much, guys, for watching today. Tomorrow, the topic is gonna be, let me see here. We're gonna talk about the flat structure in Denmark and how that influenced your job search, and what makes that different from a lot of other places when you're applying for jobs, even different from other European countries. So that's going to be tomorrow's topic. I think, let me look, I think I'm going to be probably, most likely, going to be going live around 4 o'clock Danish time tomorrow. But it might differ depending on what happens during my day. Do you need to learn Danish to get a job? You do not need to learn Danish necessarily. There are some jobs where it is necessary, but you said you're in IT. That's probably one of the areas where it's not as important to know Danish. However, I always recommend to do it, to start learning Danish, use some of the apps available, because it still shows that you're willing to invest and the intent of like wanting to be in the country. And like any other employer, Danish employers are also looking for people who are willing to stay. We just had a recruitment analysis come out, I think it was in the beginning of this week or the end of last week, where it said, I think it was that they asked like about 1,000 companies, a bit more than 1,000 companies. They expect future employees to be employed for, I think it was 6 point something years. So again, if you're like, you want to show your future employer or potential future employer that you are intent on staying here, because why else would they hire you? And especially if they are looking for someone long term, right? And if they're hiring someone in from abroad, it's important that they know that they can count on you being here. And again, it's not that you can't apply for other jobs and stuff like that, but it's just like they're looking for a long-term strategy. Can you suggest where I should apply for jobs? I would use in IT, so basically jobindex.dk is a good place to start. LinkedIn can be a bit hard because Denmark is such a small market, so sometimes it's a bit hard for it to kind of navigate the jobs. I still get, like, I have a master's degree, and I sometimes get like job suggestions for being on a like, what's that called? a gas station, like being attendant at a gas station, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It just doesn't really match up with my education or my education level. There's also something called ET or IT Job Bank. You can so it-jobbank.dk, where you can look for IT jobs. A very good idea as well is to go into, if you know if there's, for example, there's a company, an IT company called Netcompany. So what you can do, you can go into something called the CVR register, where we have in Denmark, every company has a registration number, basically. So every company that's registered in Denmark has an identification number. My company does, like every company, right? So let's say that you know that a job that or a company that you would like to work for would be Netcompany. Then you can go in, and I have a video that's called something about finding the right companies or something like that on my channel. It's a normal video I've created where I walk through how this register works. So basically you go into, it's called cvr.dk, and you can go in and look up Netcompany, and then you go into the information, and they have set it to English. Then they have something called activity codes. And basically that is, whenever you start a company, you need to put on what codes you you feel like your company will be under. What kind of company is it that you're starting, right? That means that you could then look at Netcompany, what's the activity code, then you can clear out the search, and then you can go in and look at, okay, so what other companies are there under this activity code? So now you can get a whole list of like active companies, maybe in the Copenhagen, the capital region, or in the entire country, whatever it is. But you can go in and create this search, and you kind of get this whole list of companies that would be relevant for you, which is super smart, right? Because then you all of a sudden have a much better way to navigate what companies to follow, to reach out to look for jobs with, because you have an idea what industry they are in. I hope this makes sense. Again, the video, I can jump in real quick and look at what it is called for you, if my computer here will work. Let me see here. The video is called the ultimate job hunters tool using the CVR register to find your dream companies. That is the video title, so you can go have a look at that. I completed a master's in chemistry. Please find a job for me as a chemist. So basically, I would love to help you out. I don't go find jobs for people per se, but what I do is I teach you how to navigate the Danish job market. So I teach you how to find those jobs. I teach you how to write the good material. I teach you about networking, all of these things. So if you feel like that makes sense, feel free to go into onto my channel, and in the top you can book me for a discovery call where we have a chat about more about who are you and how I might be able to help you, and see if we can work together. You're very, very welcome to do that. I usually have my calendar is available a week ahead. So right now it's available for next week, and then it's going to be today. I'm going to opening up for the week after that as well. So you're very welcome to go in and book a discovery call, and we can see if I can help you out for sure. And I want to say that the reason I do this, of course, you can also, I can also try and help you find the specific jobs. But the thing is, I would rather teach you how to do it so that it's helpful for you, not just now, but also in the future when you need to find the next job and the next job and the next job. What is this? I think I need more clarification, Sandra. We're talking about job search, and the original idea with the original theme for today's live, it was about searching for jobs in terms of your skills and your experience, instead of searching on job titles. And now I'm just spending a bit of time answering questions from people. So feel free if you have any job search related questions in terms of job search in Denmark specifically. You're very welcome to write them in the chat, and I'll do my best to answer them and how I can help. But yeah, so on my channel, I have the CVR video, so you can go in and look at how you can use the CVR register to find the interesting companies. I also have a video on how to use Job Index in there. The Job Index video is based on the old design of Job Index. I need to redo that at some point soon, but it is there, and kind of the search is the same. Kind of, you can use the same search opportunities when you're there. So yeah, no more questions. Then I'm gonna jump up. I'm not gonna jump up. I'm gonna jump off for today. And again, jump in tomorrow or come by tomorrow. It's gonna be around 4 p.m. Danish time, and the theme is gonna be about the flat structure of the Danish workforce and the Danish companies, and how that can benefit you and what you can do, how it's different. So I hope to see you there. For now, have an amazing rest of your day.